staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Ask the Expert Show with local celebrity hosts Steve O and Rene. Sit back each week while Steve O and Rene educate you with live in-studio experts, such as lawyers, doctors, home improvement, and financial experts in their field. Call in and have your questions answered each week at 888-565-1470. Now, here is Steve O and Rene with today's expert in their field.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Ask the Experts. You thought I was going to say something else, too, didn't you?
No.
I've done it before. I've done it before.
Just read your notes.
We have the finest show in South Florida. We bring in the top experts in their field, just like today. Oh, we've got the big Macher. Okay. With Rosh Hashanah coming up, okay.
Just say it right.
Anyhow, if you would like to watch today's show, actually you can go to our first guest website. And they actually have two websites. The first one is is it TJ?
No,
TC.
TC Jaguar. Let me help you along. TCJaguar.com.
Or TCLandrover.com.
Right.
You've got two websites now.
Got two websites now, Steve.
They're beautiful now, too, by the way.
Thank you.
We went to it today. We have the general manager of Jaguar Land Rover of Treasure Coast in studio today. They are out of Fort Pierce. Let me tell you something. We cover all of Broward and all of Palm Beach County. If you want a beautiful, I love your cars. Especially the Jaguar.
Me too.
If you want,
I like saying Jaguar.
Can I say they could probably get a better deal because you're in Fort Pierce?
I could say this, Steve-O. They're going to be treated with kid gloves. And yeah, I think part of the deal is just not what you spend on the car. Mm-hmm. It's how you're handled and how you're treated.
I agree with that.
I would agree
yes.
with you.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Listen, don't just shop around in Broward and Palm Beach when you've got this great dealership.
It's worth the trip.
In Fort Pierce. So, hey, welcome to the show.
You know, it seems like a year since I've been here.
It does.
It's only a few weeks ago.
Only a few weeks ago, yes.
And
yes.
we have so many people who've got a little guilt.
Yes.
See, I'm getting ready for Rosh Hashanah now.
Okay, so if you have a question for General Manager Larry Tabloff, you could call us at 888-565-1470.
Today, it's so crummy outside. It was really nice of you to drive up.
Let me tell you something.
Drive up or drive down?
It's
drive down.
Driving down, and the rain was coming down.
So tell us where Jaguar is located, of Treasure Coast.
Jaguar is up north there in Fort Pierce. It's on the corner of US 1 and Midway Boulevard. It's about 45 minutes from the West Palm Beach area, about an hour from the Boca area.
And your dealership is part of the Greco Automotive Group.
It's part of the Greco Automotive Group, which is down here in Florida, and we have other stores up in Rhode Island called the Metro Motor Group. So we align roughly about 11 stores now from Ford, Fiat, Volkswagen, Jaguar, Land Rover, 2 Mazda stores here in Florida, and a Kia store.
Greco's big.
No kidding. They're, especially in Delray, too.
Delray is their store. They have the Mazda Kia store there, as well as we have a new North Palm Beach store scheduled to open right around November 1st for Mazda.
Mazda, okay.
Wow. Okay, so give everybody a little background on your dealership.
Our dealership has been in business roughly about 7 or 8 years. They were owned by another organization out of Chicago. We took that store over in November. I became the general manager in June of this year, and I got to say this: it's a beautiful facility. If people want to come and enjoy and see just a beautiful facility. Where you walk in, it's warm. It's got a nice atmosphere. We got a beautiful piano playing the songs that they want.
I love that. That's great.
We kind of changed it up because I got a little tired of the that slow music. So we put a little Beatles White Album, a little Billy Joel, a little Elton John. So we're starting to get back to where some of the people that we have to do business
so
with.
It's a happening place now.
It's a happening place.
I got to tell you, every time we see the Jaguar F-Type, the convertible.
That's my favorite. It is.
That is the hottest car. That's a wow car.
That's a sleek-looking car.
And I have to say this to our audience out there: whether you are in the market for that car or not, you have to take the time. Do yourself a favor. You got to go to a Jaguar store and drive it. We just had an event yesterday, a casino night. I had 7 of our F-Types lined up outside our store. everything.
Oh,
We had from Italian Racing Red, the black, the blue. I had from 340 horsepower hardtops to the 550 horsepower hardtops to my 495 horsepower vertibles. And I got to tell you something. We took people on a ride along Hutchinson Island, and letting them drive those cars. And a couple people that were actually Porsche enthusiasts came, and they got out of their car. And I'm going to say this. I looked at their faces, and I felt like I was looking at Jack Nicholson from Batman with that smile after he got burnt.
I love
because
that.
I got to tell you something. And a great story, I just got to say this. We had a lady last Saturday. Her husband came in with his wife. They're from New York. I recognized them from a couple weeks earlier. They brought their granddaughters in to look at a coupe. And the wife is just looking at this red F-Type I have on the floor. It's a coupe, and she's looking at it. I finally said, Marcy, let's take it for a test drive. I stopped looking at this, and you're gawking at it. Well, I don't know. I got the car outside off the floor, put it in the car. She goes, I really don't think this is going to work. I said, Marcy, get in the car. We started the car up. I had my salesman go with her. They were gone for about 20 minutes. She came back.
And bought it?
She
And
comes
bought
back.
two.
She comes back. She opens up this door. Listen, she's all of 5'2", and soaking wet. She's maybe 110 pounds, 105 pounds. Gets out of that car like the Jack in the Box and goes, "Wow, this is the real deal." I mean, her eyes were popping. Her mouth was going. She was drooling.
not that you didn't know that was going to happen once you got her in the car.
Well, when they're looking at other cars, our competition in the BMW world, or even the Lexus world, they don't have this car. She's comparing it to the Porsche, and it's a great.
And what's the
competitor.
difference between? Because I know,
You know
different
what? You know what
luxury
it is?
cars.
I'm going to say this to you. It's really the personal preference of the consumer.
Right.
Their butt's got to get in the seat. Their hands got to get on the wheel. Only that will tell you the feeling of the tuchus,
Yes.
the feeling of your
And
hands.
why are you pointing to me?
You know, you understand that.
Yes.
The macho here. Yeah, okay.
Listen, I think he understands
he has
tuchus.
he has no clue what you're talking about half the time, but that's okay. But by the time we get into this and they drive it,
It's impressive.
it does itself.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. It's really not what a salesman's going to tell you. Go look at the cars, whether it be a Jaguar or a Range Rover, whether it's any maker model. You will know if you like the car.
Right.
Okay? Give yourself a chance to look at some brands, look at the interiors, look at the structure. That's all it is. I mean, you say ask the expert. Yeah, we could talk about some different things, but it's really about you, the consumer, that's going to have to find out what you really like and do your research. The research on the Jaguar and the Land Rover says itself
I
today.
got to say, the Land Rover, I told you this last time. There are so many people you see it on TV. 'cause
All the celebrities are driving
they're-
that.
I mean, they can have any car they
Right,
want.
exactly.
And they're choosing the Land Rover. In fact, down here in the parking lot, there's two of them right down here
There
right now.
were 3 or 4 that I saw today. Okay.
What did you drive up in today?
I drove an F-Type convertible. So you talk about these things. Why a Land Rover, okay, or why the Range Rover? Last Sunday, I took 10 of our customers out into Okeechobee on a 435-acre farm, and we went off-roading. Now, I haven't done the off-roading before, but this is my first time, and I had the beautiful ability to have my wife there too, because she's the old cheerleader that she was, and she still is. So she goes, rah rah rah, go Larry, and she's biting her nails, and we're going through this stuff and bouncing all over the place.
And it handles the roads.
Oh, well, let me
So they're
tell you.
four-wheel drive?
Listen, Steve. You can go up to 4 foot of water. These things you can go on a 45-degree angle when you're driving. If people like to off-road or people are looking for safety, let me tell you, you're never gonna get hurt with a Range Rover because of all of the aspects this car can do. You all got to remember, this car has been in Africa for how many years?
That's true.
Right. That's
Okay,
right.
it's going through the most difficult terrains in the world. You put these things in mountains and mud and anything you want. The rain that we just had here, you get roads flooded. You're
Right,
not
it
gonna-
can handle the streets of Boca.
it can handle the street. Absolutely. It's just a phenomenal vehicle. So, for those of you who want to do off-road events or come do off-road, give me a call. I've got a lot of great areas out in Fort Pierce, whether it be farms or hunting clubs, all the different ranches that will allow us to go out there and do some marvelous off-roading. It's
I'm in.
wonderful. It's wonderful.
I love that.
I
Yeah,
can just
absolutely.
stare and look at the car. You know what's so great about your dealership is you guys give back. And I think, you always hear about, we're bringing money in, we're making sales, sales are wonderful, but no one ever talks about what are you doing for the community, and you guys go overboard when it comes to doing things for the community.
Well, I think that goes again, it comes from a culture, just not what I believe in, but, why I came to work for the Greco family, if you go and you look at what the Grecos have done, we talked about this last time, they're all about giving back to the community
Which is wonderful.
Whether it be pets or any of the different charities that are listed on our Metro Motor Group website. And that's being spearheaded by Mrs. Greco, Mike Greco Sr.'s wife. And I got to tell you something, it's wonderful. From our standpoint down here in the Florida market, in the Fort Pierce, the Treasure Coast market, what we have decided to do, we have a huge event coming up with the Castle organization. Castle, again, we talked about, it's nonprofit. It's about support for abused children. October 9th, we have an event for the donors. They'll come in. It's a donor appreciation night. We'll then do their whole Christmas party November 22nd. They get to utilize
That's
our
really
facility.
nice.
What was even better is last night at casino night, we had one of the caterers
That
come.
sounds like fun, by the way.
Oh, let me tell you, we had 65 people there, and people would think normally, no offense, we are up north, and sometimes we're in a little bit sleepier bedroom communities where we have a little older clientele where you think normally by 5 or 6 o'clock they're sleeping. But let me tell you, we had them going.
They like to party up there?
Let me tell you something. Well, I made sure I didn't have the martinis or beer flow, and I had to give them the Sprite and the Coke. I made sure
works.
I made sure we put some caffeine going in there to keep people awake.
Red Bull.
Plenty of coffee. The Red Bull's next time. But seriously, we love to give back to the community, and when we do November 22nd with Castle, we're going to create a winter wonderland in our store. Literally a winter
So
wonderland.
November 22nd, what time is this going to start?
Well, it's an invitation. They have to call me, but I can get them in.
And we'll accept. We'd love to attend, yes.
I would love to have you come up. I think
That
you
sounds
would
so cool.
absolutely love it. On top of that, what we are doing, we're going to be doing a wedding, not a wedding, a birthday party for a very well-to-do family up in the Vero Beach Market that came to the event yesterday. And they chose our venue because they looked at our venue as something very different. And they said, can we use your venue for my wife's 40th birthday party?
How nice.
And I said, absolutely. And I want people to think about this out there, that if they're looking for something very different, think about what you can do. If you saw the facility that we have, and I'm opening it up to you, the public, to contact me or go through an event planner, what we can do is you can create this unique feel of a party, of an event that you can not only have in a car, we can create with these unique sports cars in the showroom or and about, but more than that, we'll put you on the Range Rover track in the back. So before you go and party and have a cocktail or two, we'll put you out in a Rover and put you through our track where you're going to go through the water. You're going to go through 45-degree angles. We have a special track in the
sounds like a lot
back.
of
the hill
fun.
that's like
Yes, we do. And think about
That's
what y'all
wonderful,
can
yeah.
do, people out there. This is fun. This is different. This is what it's about. And we're more than happy to help and give back in that way. It's wonderful.
That's a great idea. Why don't you give your phone number out? That would be helpful.
The number at the store is 772-293-0400. Ask for extension 1505. Just tell me, if I'm not there, leave me a message that you heard what you heard about on the show today. Absolutely.
We're going to go to break right now, and I hope Freddie will show some of the vehicles, the Jaguars. Oh, I love that car.
They're magnificent. They really
The
are.
Land Rover, the Range Rover. And when we come back, we have more with... I think this is kind of becoming like one of our favorite guests now. He's just so... You got the greatest personality. You were so meant for this. Larry Tabloff, the general manager of Jaguar and Land Rover of Treasure Coast. We will be right back.
36-month leases, $89.95 due at signing. 0 security deposit plus tax, tag, title fees, and first month's payment. With approved credit, expires month end.
Want the best in luxury? Get it all at Jaguar Treasure Coast.
Visit the all-new Jaguar Treasure Coast and let us exceed your expectations. Just a short drive from Palm Beach and you'll find amazing selection, service, and surprising savings. Brand new Jaguars from $599 a month compared to the average cost of a luxury Acura, BMW, Lexus, or Mercedes. Jaguars will exceed your expectations. Lease a 2014 Jaguar XJ, $799 a month, or drive the sensational 2014 F-Type convertible, only $599 a month. Drive the best from Jaguar Treasure Coast and experience extraordinary luxury and service for less. Easy to get to from Palm Beach. Visit us in beautiful Fort Pierce or online at tcjaguar.com. That's tcjaguar.com.
I'm Mike Greco from Jaguar Treasure Coast. Will exceed your expectations, I guarantee it.
And we're back. We're having so much fun here talking to the general manager of Jaguar Land Rover of Treasure Coast. That's a mouthful.
It really is.
Yeah,
So why don't
Larry
we talk
Teploff.
about leasing versus paying cash for a vehicle?
That sounds great. Many people come into our stores and want to know how should I buy my car? And mind you, we have some clients that obviously have all kinds of money they can pay. They'll pay cash if they want, or they'll finance, they'll lease. So, you have to ask people really what they want to do. But more importantly, I think it's up to us. Sometimes people forget or don't realize that paying cash for a car, I know they don't want to have debt. If they can afford to finance the car, if they're going to buy a car and keep it, but they can afford to finance it today and you've got good credit, there's really no reason whatsoever to pay cash for a car. Let's be fair to say, and I'm honest about things, and that's what I think has helped me in this business. A car is a depreciated asset. You walk out of that car, I always ask people, I said, do you like ice cream? It's the first question I ask them.
Do you like ice
Do you
cream?
like ice cream? And the first thing they say is yes. I said, what happens when you take ice cream out in hot sun?
It melts.
It melts.
Right.
So when you
Was
take
this a test?
well, you did really well. You were hesitant, both of you, just so you know. So what happens is when you take that car that you have purchased out of my showroom or out of any showroom, it depreciates. It melts immediately.
Yeah.
So why would I want to pay cash for a depreciated asset?
That's a good point.
I tell them, if you've got excellent credit today, the rates that you can, from a Savannah rate of a 2.9, a 2%, some people are even getting 1.9, or as high, maybe as high
Is
as
it that
3.9.
low now?
Yeah, and
Wow.
on some of the banks. Why wouldn't you take a loan, pay it off, and at any time, if you feel that you want to pay the car off, you pay it off without penalty. There's no per diem, there's no penalty to pay it off. Take advantage of keeping the cash in your pocket. There's no reason not to do that.
And most people, after a few years, want to trade the car in
was gonna say,
anyway
how
for a
often
newer
should
model.
someone trade their
So
car in?
now you're going to go back and but if some people want to keep their car for 6-7 years. Got it. That's good.
Most people don't,
Well,
right?
some people do. A lot
Yeah.
of people will. But if you like your new car every 3 years, and you're driving 7,500 to 12,000 miles, the other option is to lease a car. Why in the world would I buy a car if I'm going to trade it in every 3 years? I've been in this business a long time. I don't buy cars. I will lease my cars because every 3 years my wife is going to say, I want a new car. Okay? And
I agree with your wife.
She's told me every two.
Well, keep on going. You really want to get me in trouble.
It's called payback.
She just said every year, by the way.
Oh, she did?
Payback, so you know what,
Yes,
Steve. So, but the bottom line is, I try to explain to people. Matter of fact, I had a couple again last night at the event, and we sat and talked, and he really didn't think about leasing. He drives only 7,500 miles a year. And I said, why would you have bought your car for cash if you want a new car every 3 years?
Because people think they're getting a better deal that
They're
way.
not. Leasing is the best way to, number one, the flexibility of getting another vehicle. Number two, you got to think about this. If you want a new vehicle and to keep it under warranty, you're going to probably keep it under warranty the entire time. I ask people one question. It's a very simple question. When and if they want to buy a car, I'm okay with that. But if they want to go every 3 years, but they're still buying a car, I said, why would you do that? I said, and if they're going to take a loan every 3 years, again, that doesn't make sense because let's be clear. When you buy a car through finance or you lease a car, who owns the car? Who owns the car? It's not you, it's the bank.
Exactly.
Okay, so I would rather every 3 years I'll rent or lease my car, turn it in, it's under miles.
And the service agreement's over
You
after
don't
3
have to
years
worry.
anyway.
You don't even have to worry. No, you got a 4 year.
If you purchase a car?
You got a 4 year, 50,000 mile full factory warranty as part of this car. So when you lease a car, you really have your obligation in terms of maintenance is just general maintenance.
Right.
And anyhow, the first service that you do at our store is free. So most of the
Service
time,
meaning oil change,
your
tire
first,
rotation.
your first service period.
Right.
And it's about every 10,000 miles. So you may have 2 services the entire time. So people will say, what is my responsibility on a lease?
Virtually nothing.
The only you have to maintain your car
Right.
according to what the owner's manual states. Let me be clear what the owner's manual states. So for all of us who get vehicles that we say we don't understand what to do, all you have to do is take 10 minutes and pull out that owner's manual. It states it right there. Number 2, you have to replace the tires if they are wear. That's
fair.
really the
Yeah.
only thing you're going to be responsible for. And plus the fact you get $1,000 of true wear and tear coverage, meaning paint and dings and dongs and stuff like that. But tires are things you're going to have to be responsible
Right.
for. Nothing more, nothing less. People need to understand. If they don't understand it, please ask the question and make sure the dealership explains it to you, because I think that's where things go wrong. I don't think half the dealer personnel really understand leasing, and that's a problem.
How often do you need to change the tires to purchase new tires? After how much mileage
realistically,
usually?
we say you should oil change your car every 10,000 miles.
Right.
You should rotate and balance your cars every 5,000 miles to get your best wear and tear. You got to think about the roads we have out here, guys. We have hot environment, but our roads are made with asphalt and crushed seashell, and the seashell is a rough on the tires. If you have most of our tires are V-rated or soft-rated tires for a better ride. So you're going to get 20, 25,000 miles on those tires. You may get 30, but most of the time you're probably going to get 20 to 25,000 miles. On a sedan or a sports car like an F-Type, you may get less. It's a very soft rubber. And again, if a dealer doesn't explain it to you, shame on them. There's no reason you should be surprised at all when you buy a car and maintain it.
This kind of leads me up to my next question. Say I'm in Boca, which we are, or I'm in Fort Lauderdale, or I'm in Aventura, and I want to buy a new Land Rover, or I want to buy a new Jaguar. Why should they do business with Larry Tabloff versus Boca, Fort Lauderdale? I don't care. Listen, this is an honest show, and you got to tell it like it is. You got a big audience, so
you know, Steve. People ask me that question, and I'm just honest. You got me out here.
You're in Fort Pierce now, okay?
I'm in Fort Pierce, but here's the difference. I'm a general manager of a dealership. I'm on the floor with my salesman. I'm on the floor with my customers. I don't hide behind a door. I never will. I don't hide behind anything. I will take it on just like anybody else, like my salesman. If people have questions and people want to talk about different things, I'm available. I have never, ever shunned. And I know people out there today that have bought cars today or in the past will tell you the horror stories. I heard it today, flat out. I picked up a woman at her home and drove her to my store because she was buying a new Range Rover.
So you personally went in and
I
picked her up?
personally picked her up.
That's impressive. That really is.
Hold on. Her husband is a very successful man, a CEO of a company. He's busy. And I said, listen, I'll pick your wife up. It's right down by where I live, and I'm an hour from my store. And I said, I'll take her. And we sat and we talked. We talked about the cars and different things. But more importantly, I explained about the use of the car as we were going up there. And she really appreciated it. She goes, I won't do business at XYZ because of this. She goes, as a matter of fact, we went out to look at another vehicle. They were looking at a Jeep because they have a place up in Boston or up on what's along the Cape. And she goes, that's correct. They have a place up in the Cape. And they went to another store, and she goes, Larry, what we went through was ridiculous. When we went to buy the car and we agreed on the price of the car, we were paying cash, which again I don't agree with. But the dealership said, if you're going to pay cash, your price is not what we agreed to because you have to finance with us to get that price.
Wow.
That is wrong. And I get a very sick feeling in my stomach. A sick feeling in my stomach when I hear these type of things because these are very well-to-do, successful people. You just can't play the games. These games got to be ended. A good dealer with true ethics.
A reputable dealer.
A reputable dealer will never do that. Dad always said something to me. The fish stinks from the head down. And if that's the way they're thinking from the top, it goes filters down to everybody else. That's just wrong. I will not stand for that. 1 iota. If that comes across from one of my customers or one of my salespeople, it doesn't work for me. They don't work for me. Very ethical. Been taught that way. I run a store for a very ethical family, very ethical group. And if they heard this, I got to tell you something. I would not be employed there at all.
I've read the story about the family on your website, and it's truly a remarkable story. You must go to their website. It is, you've got everything you'd possibly need to know. And I love what they did with the website. Your webmasters did an incredible job.
And you can also view the cars in there as well.
Yes.
So now you also do pre-owned cars too. You have a pre-owned service.
Yeah, we do. We have we have about 40 or 50 pre-owned cars on our lot, and
Are they all Jaguars, Land Rovers, or additional types of luxury
we have
cars?
Jaguars and Land Rovers and other makes and models. But our primary focus will always be on our core product, which is the Jag and Land Rover, and we'll normally have them certified, because the certified warranty, unlike the other factories, when you certify the warranty or the car, that warranty is it's only from the manufacturer warranty. It's the same warranty as you get on a new car. Meaning
That's great.
It wraps around. It's the same warranty, same coverage. And what's interesting, but people need to understand again, don't be afraid of a 2011.
And you could lease a pre-owned vehicle as well.
Well, you can't, but we're looking into those options. I really don't want to go there right now. But you need to remember one thing. Don't be afraid of these cars. An 11, a 12, or a 13. And many times, if I would take a 13 over a new car, why? A 13 with 20,000 miles or a 12 with 20,000 miles, you're still going to get 80,000 miles additional plus 4 years or 4.5 years. So if you get a 4.5 year coverage and 80,000 miles, you're only getting 450 on a new car. So you got to start to think about some things. Okay, that's quite a deal,
bro. I can't wait for you to come back next month. Larry's going to.
I know the time goes so fast with him.
It's unbelievable. I looked at the clock and it was like 10 after. And next time I look.
Well, give your phone number out again, your address.
So if you want to get in touch with me, you can call me at 772-293-0400 extension 1505. You can go to our website at www.tcjaguar.com
Jaguar.
or www.tclandrover.com.
And you know what? You can actually go back and watch our show today on your website now. That's really cool.
Yes.
So you can go back
on the homepage, right? It's on the homepage.
I don't know if it's on the homepage. I think it's on.
Contact us.
It's somewhere. I watch it. They got a big screen on there, and it talks about the show. Larry's going to be back with us again next month. We'll let you know what the date is. Bro, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on, Larry.
It's always my pleasure. I enjoy it. You two make it fun, and
thank you.
It's a great time.
Yeah, maybe we'll see him Sunday. That's all we can say.
You know what the L. Roker says? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Okay, Larry, stop it. Okay, we are going to go to break, and when we come back, we've got one of the top hearing aid and hearing loss audiologists in South Florida on our show.
Perfect.
We'll be right back.
36-month leases, $89.95 due at signing, 0 security deposit, plus tax, tag, title fees, and first month's payment. With approved credit, expires month end.
Want the best in luxury? Get it all at Jaguar Treasure Coast.
Visit the all-new Jaguar Treasure Coast and let us exceed your expectations. Just a short drive from Palm Beach, and you'll find amazing selection, service, and surprising savings. Brand new Jaguars from $599 a month, compared to the average cost of a luxury Acura, BMW, Lexus, or Mercedes. Jaguars will exceed your expectations. Lease a 2014 Jaguar XJ, $799 a month, or drive the sensational 2014 F-Type convertible, only $599 a month. Drive the best from Jaguar Treasure Coast and experience extraordinary luxury and service for less. Easy to get to from Palm Beach. Visit us in beautiful Fort Pierce or online at TC Jaguar.
And would like to be part of the Ask the Expert show, contact us at 954-336-3767. Position your company as an expert in your field. Call Ask the Experts radio show at 954-336-3767. Be sure to catch our show every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. or watch our show live at www.nnradio.com and click on the WWNN TV link. And we're back.
Wow.
That's a great show.
It was.
But this half hour is going to even be better.
This is a very important topic to most people.
Exactly, because our demographics of our show is like 45 plus.
Yes.
And
the hosts. 45 plus.
Renee, I know where you live.
I said hosts, both.
Okay, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear the plural on the end.
Okay.
So this is the Ask the Expert show. What we do is we do shows with some of the biggest, the best experts in South
The
Florida.
top experts in the field.
And here at WNN, we're known as the Health and Wealth Station. So this is just perfect for our audience. We're going to talk about hearing aids and hearing loss. And this is from a company that I've actually done business with in the past. So they're very reputable. And we want to say hello to Ali today, too, if he's listening.
Yes, hello.
So let's introduce our our only guest. The name of your practice is
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth?
Labyrinth Audiology.
Audiology.
In
Yes.
Boca Raton, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, and you're right across the street from FAU.
Correct.
Yes, so let's
So that's
welcome
easy.
Vicki Ladone.
Hi.
Hi,
thank
Vicki.
you.
How you
Good to see you.
doing?
Doing well.
So we've got so many questions for you. I mean, I know, listen, there's so many.
We get so many emails about
Emails.
hearing loss, and so this is a perfect topic.
Great.
And if you want to watch right now, watch us live. We're at www.wwnnradio.com. When you go to the homepage, click on the left-hand side.
The
it says
WNN TV, and voila, there we are.
Perfect.
So tell everybody about your practice.
So, Labyrinth Audiology is an audiology practice that focuses on the hearing health care of adults, and we also do see children. We focus on patients who have problems with hearing loss, problems with ringing in their ears, which is also known as tinnitus. We also see patients who have balance or vertigo problems, or even patients who have sensitivity to sounds.
Are
And
there
vertigo,
some-
I just want to say something. Vertigo is very prevalent also, because I know a couple of people that have already had that. So explain to people what vertigo is, for those of people that don't know.
Yeah, so a lot of people just have balance problems, so they can feel that they're off balance, they have lightheadedness, or just kind of a sense of dizziness. Vertigo is a sense of like a true spinning of the room, where you kind of just can't control the situation at all, where you feel like you might fall to the ground.
So that has to do with hearing?
It can. It doesn't always, and that's part of the process that we do. We focus on testing to see, is it an ear problem causing this symptom, or is it something that
Right,
we
because
need
it
to
could be
investigate
inner ear,
further.
like an inner ear problem.
It could be an inner ear problem, and it could be something else. And a lot of the times we just want to determine what is causing it so that we can help the patient,
So
get
Tell
better.
everybody a little bit about your background.
That's your education.
So I got my bachelor's in communication sciences and disorders at the University of Florida, and then I'm a lifelong Gator, so I stayed there for my graduate program. I got my doctorate in audiology also from the University of Florida.
Do all these hearing aid stores you see around town, do they all have audiologists? Or that's a specialty when you're an audiologist?
It is.
Which is what you are.
Correct.
Okay.
I can't really speak for them to know what exactly, the providers are in those settings. Sometimes there are audiologists, and the degree after your name, if you're an audiologist, is an AUD. But sometimes people can be dispensers. They have training in only working with hearing aids. So it could be a little bit different.
I was just about to say that, yes.
Audiologist. Let's start off with some of the most common signs of hearing loss.
Yes. A lot of times our patients, come to us because they say, my family tells me I repeat a lot, or my family and friends tell me I don't hear well. And then they say to me, I hear well, I just don't understand, or things aren't clear. So that's a big sign. Being able to hear but having clarity issues is really a common sign for certain kinds of hearing losses. Also, turning the volume up on the TV maybe more than the other people in the room would like, so that's also a common problem. Sometimes, because you have problems with clarity, you can become very reclusive and kind of not want to engage in social activities like you used to, so I would say that's also a pretty common
How do you
sign.
treat that when people don't have the clarity? They can hear, but they don't understand.
So that kind of report from a patient is very characteristic of something called sensory neural hearing loss, specifically in the higher pitches. So we test a wide range of pitches that are important for speech understanding. A lot of the times when people have age-related or maybe noise exposure as the reason for their hearing loss, they can have really good hearing in one part in the lower pitches and not really good hearing in the higher pitches.
So does
that
a hearing aid help that?
Yeah, so the hearing aid will focus on exactly what each individual person's hearing loss is like. So it's not going to take what they don't need louder. It's just going to take what they need to, a better hearing level.
Okay,
Sure.
I have a
Sure
question.
for
Wait a
hearing
second.
loss?
I have a question. If you sleep during the night and you have headphones, if you're listening to talk radio throughout the night, can that cause a hearing problem? If you have
Are you wearing headphones?
throughout the night, earbuds, would that cause a certain amount of hearing loss or hearing problems?
It could. Noise is interesting because it'll depend on how long you're listening and at what
throughout
level.
the entire evening.
Yeah, so it could. I would say, just try to listen at a pretty low to moderate level. If you're listening with headphones, whether it be music, radio, whatever it might be, and you can't hear what's going on around you,
Excuse me, what did you say?
exactly, then I would say that's a good rule of thumb
No,
to
because
say it's too loud.
Steve O, he sleeps all night with the earbuds in his ear with listening to talk radio.
I don't have it on, though.
And I've noticed, and I'm not joking, I've actually noticed a deterioration in his hearing because he tells me now, you hear how loud I talk, okay? I'm from New York. I don't even know how to
Renee,
talk
can you speak
low.
up a little bit, please?
He tells me that I'm starting to mumble. Now, I am never mumbling, okay?
Yeah, I would say that's one of those signs right there.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Is there a cure for hearing loss?
For the hearing loss that we've been talking about so far, that sensory neural kind of hearing loss, the damage is really in the organ of hearing itself, and most of the time that's something we cannot fix, unfortunately. There are, causes of hearing loss that can be fixed. Things like if you have a plug of wax in your ear. Sometimes people just develop excessive wax. They can feel like they have hearing loss. Once we take it out, it's better. Or an ear
Once you take the wax out?
Yes.
I think you need to go see Vicky.
No, but well,
Maybe there's a wax problem.
I mean, our office is pretty close.
Okay, exactly.
teaming up on me. But we were at a doctor's office one day, and I don't know how we were talking about cleaning ears out, and he said, "Do not use Q-tips."
Absolutely.
So how would you?
So how do you clean out your own ears?
We really would not advise patients or individuals to do that themselves. Our ears want to have wax. So
Okay.
a certain amount of wax is normal and actually beneficial to your ears. The problem arises when you have an overaccumulation and it keeps growing and
Building
growing
up.
on top, and it becomes almost like an earplug.
See, that's my problem. Clarity. So, but do you treat that also, though? Is there
Yes.
like a solution or something?
Yeah, we can, kind of investigate and see
Stuff
how
at the
much.
drugstores do not work. I can tell you that right now.
But let me
That
just
is a
ask you
waste of
this.
money.
My daughter has, for some reason, her ears always look waxy. I mean, actually, the wax comes out of her ears. So I take a Q-tip and I'll do the outer portions of it. So does that mean that she has to go to an ear doctor more often to see if there's wax buildup inside the ear?
I would say just whether it's her primary care doctor or an audiologist or nurse who can look in her ears, because even if you're using a little Q-tip on the outside, which I'm not going to recommend, but if you do, and you have some wax coming out, that doesn't mean there's a plug of
Otherwise, they'll
wax
report me
deep
to
in
school
there.
for not taking care of my
Yeah,
daughter.
right. See what's going on
Yeah.
there. So, what are the benefits of a hearing aid?
So a hearing aid will allow someone to get access to where they're not hearing as well. They're not going to have all those sounds, like I said before, go up louder. 20 years ago or whenever hearing aids didn't have the sophistication of today, what they did is they took everything louder. That's not what they do now. They're really focused on what your hearing loss may be, what your hearing loss may be, what my hearing loss may be. So because of that, it helps that clarity issue for people who have that clarity issue. It helps bring access to sound in the areas they're not hearing as well, and then that lets them work less at hearing, so they can be less fatigued at the end of the day, less strained in trying to communicate with their family and friends. they can finally turn their TVs down to a more comfortable volume for everyone listening. They
Are
can.
the hearing aids visible though? Because I know a lot of people. That's another thing. It's vanity purposes. They don't want to
Right.
have that. Because I know sometimes you see people with the hearing aids. Do you have hearing aids that are also not as visible?
Yes, there's all different kinds of styles, and for the most part, it doesn't really depend what your hearing loss is like to decide on the style. So if cosmetics and vanity is an issue for you, and your hearing loss is appropriate for those kinds of devices, absolutely, we do have devices that are invisible or nearly invisible to
I've
people.
actually read about a lot of
No,
the
that's a
invisible.
wonderful thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's incredible. Listen, with the age group of our audience, it's probably like 45 plus. I would think hearing loss, hearing aids is just the most important topic. Plus, we've gotten all those emails going, how come you don't do a hearing loss show? I don't know how that happened.
It's a huge topic. It really is, and it affects most people.
Yeah, and it's a topic that unfortunately a lot of times people are embarrassed to talk about, and they're
Well,
embarrassed to
right.
tell
That's what I
people
was
that
saying
they
about
have
the
the
hearing aids.
problem.
A lot of people
Exactly.
don't want those to be visible, but now that they're making them, that you can't even see them, there's no excuse if you're having
Yeah.
some sort of hearing problem.
Yeah, and I think when you think of like your traditional hearing aid, it's a big, bulky
Yes.
kind of beige
Exactly.
thing in your ear. That's really not.
That's
They
old
can
school.
look like that. They can still look like that, but a lot of the styles today are really, discreet and really attractive, kind of.
So mostly all the different styles all do the same thing. It's just a matter of your personal preference then.
Yeah, sometimes, someone might want something very discreet and they might have a really severe hearing loss, so that might not be the best option. So it's dependent on a few factors. But for the most part, we can, accommodate people with vanity concerns.
Now, the ringing and the buzzing in the ears, what is that?
That's something called tinnitus. So that's...
You treat that.
Yes, we do.
Good.
It's
Can you
something...
cure that? You could actually cure that?
It's hard to use the word cure, but it's something that we can definitely manage.
Right.
So it's basically a sound that only that individual can hear, and most of the time is a sign of hearing loss. It can be the result of noise damage. So even people with normal hearing can have that tinnitus sound. Sometimes you might go to a concert or a loud something, and you get home that night and you hear that ringing in your
Yes.
ears, but it goes away. A lot of times patients, it doesn't go away, so it can become a really frustrating thing. The best kind of tools and things that we can do to help that is something called sound therapy. So
Which is what?
basically training your brain to become more accustomed to that sound by listening to pleasant sounds. So it could be something like the shower noise or beach waves or crickets in the grass, whatever kind of pleasant noise it might be. And sometimes even just hearing aids can help. Just giving your brain actual stimulation that's real can help people perceive that ringing less.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you treat children also, right?
We do see children,
What kind of problems do you see with children?
with children, any age person can have hearing loss. When I was in my graduate program, I tested newborn babies' hearings, and we
And the pediatricians,
diagnosed-
they all test the children. They do
Yes.
the tympanograms.
Yes. So we can do certain tests on kids to kind of evaluate what their hearing is like, and unfortunately sometimes kids just for whatever reason might have a hearing loss, and it could be something that is permanent and could be something, maybe they have chronic ear infection, so they need to be followed regularly by an ENT doctor,
Right,
things
which is
like
not
that.
unusual. You see that a lot.
Exactly.
Tell us everything you treat at the clinic.
Okay. Well, primarily hearing loss, tinnitus, and balance patients. We do have a small but prominent group of patients that have other concerns. One of them being hyperacusis, which is a sensitivity to normal level sounds and loud level sounds, and usually those sounds are high pitched and bothersome to the patient. We also see a few patients with something that's pretty unique called misophonia, and that's actually kind of a dislike or a hatred of certain sounds. And those sounds are things that you
Like
or I.
Renee yelling at me? Would that come into it?
You don't even hear me anymore.
Huh? What?
You're going to go see Vicky after the show for a hearing aid.
Yeah, but patients with misophonia, the things that bother them or they get this adverse reaction to are things that you or I may not even realize, like chewing gum, chewing
Wow.
food.
Smacking gum.
tapping a pen on the table. Very soft, very discreet level sounds. And for some reason, their processing in their brain is causing this adverse reaction. So sound therapy is another, method of helping patients,
I
get
love
through
that. I think it's great. Yeah.
How do you treat that, though?
We want to make this sound something that's more acceptable to them.
You can do
so
that?
with the sound therapy, by giving them pleasant sounds, by giving them something that they can handle, and tying it with those non-pleasant sounds, we kind of train the brain to recognize that this is okay and this is
It's
not
amazing
something
what you
that's
could do.
bothersome. And we also, with these patients, we like to work with other disciplines and sometimes psychologists or their primary care doctors, just to kind of get the patient the most care that they need.
So let's give everybody your phone number again and where you're located at, because now we've really got their attention now. Because you're so easy to find. I mean, you're
We are, yeah.
right off of 95.
We are right off of 95. You just head east, and we're right across the street from Florida Atlantic University off Glades Road.
Are you in that
Northwest
big
10.
center over there where Whole Foods is?
We are just a little bit more east than that. So probably the next traffic light after that,
okay.
Northwest 10th
So you're by
Avenue.
the hospital then?
Yeah, we're close to the hospital.
Okay. And the address again is?
It's 1500 Northwest 10th Avenue. We're in Suite 104, and we're in Boca, and the zip code is 33486.
And you have a website?
We do. Our website is labyrinthaudiology.com, and that's LABYRINTH audiology.com.
And they can contact you through the website as well.
Through the website, and our phone number is 561-807-7873.
And you're a doctor of audiology.
Correct, yes.
Okay. And I just want to tell you that you wrote Judy is a doctor, and it's Vicky.
I did?
He's trying to mess me up, Vicky, okay? I'm already making an
I wasn't
appointment
in
for you.
on it.
What?
This is what
Vicky
you
and I
try to
have
do lately.
Gone back and forth so many times. Does that have anything to do with hearing?
Yes, it does. He needs to go for a vision screening as well.
It's funny when you were talking about sensitivity. Some of my relatives in Dallas have told me that they've had problems with sensitivity,
Is that
but they didn't know what to do. They didn't know if to go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, to go to an audiologist.
Let me ask you something. Is hearing loss, is that something that's passed down through generations, or is it hereditary?
It can be. A lot of the times we can't tell you why you have hearing loss. Sometimes we know you had this traumatic noise exposure, like let's say a gunshot, and we can say that is what caused this
Right.
hearing loss. A lot of the times we can't. A lot of the times we do know it's genetic, and most of the time it's a combination of many things. So it could be genetic, it could be some noise related, history, a lot of concerts growing up, things like that. Medications can affect your hearing as well. So a lot of things can kind of play a part.
Are hearing aids compatible with cell phones, televisions?
Yes, they
Okay.
can be. So I like to tell patients that hearing aids are basically like mini computers on your ears, which is pretty cool. And they have the capability of working with your TV, your cell phone. They usually do that through Bluetooth connection. So, for example, working with your cell phone, you can be wearing your hearing aids. You can get a call in the phone's in your purse on the floor, and you can answer the call with a little device that you wear around your neck that connects to the
So you don't
hearing
even
aids
have to
wirelessly.
pick up the actual phone.
Right, you don't even have to pick up the phone, and you hear the call through both
That's
ears,
amazing.
which I think is the best part, because when you're listening with both ears, you're going to understand what's being heard better anyway. So it's pretty cool what the hearing aids today can do.
The technology is amazing.
Can you give me a price range from about low end to high end?
Yeah, hearing aids can have a wide range of prices. On the lower end, based on their technology, I would say maybe about $2,500 to about $3,000 for the pair, and they can be up to about $6,500 for a
Wow.
pair.
Does insurance cover that? Does any insurance cover for hearing aids?
I will say Medicare does not cover the cost of hearing aids.
Wow.
How about private insurances?
Some private insurances do. So I would say if you do have a private or a secondary insurance, to investigate with them, because a lot of the times I do see that patients do get, a percentage covered or up to a certain amount or even 100% coverage. So it's worth investigating.
Absolutely,
For sure.
yeah.
So now you provide hearing test.
Yes, we do.
Is there a charge for that?
There are. So, if you have Medicare, as long as we, have a referral from your physician and we get the appointment schedule, that is no cost, absolutely no cost to you.
What are your hours?
We are open 8:30 to about 5 p.m. Monday through Friday.
I bet they don't get out of there on time. I bet they stay later. Sometimes if
I think they'll
someone
be
comes a
happy
little
to
bit
stay
late.
I
if
was
they have
I was
patience.
pushing it getting here.
This is Friday. Now, are you open on Saturdays and Sundays?
We are not, but we've definitely accommodated patients who can't make it Monday through Friday. We can definitely,
So you'll
do
open
something.
up to somebody if
we
they
can do
can't
that.
make it throughout the
Yes,
week, which is
yes.
very nice.
Yes, we can do that. Sometimes, we'll see patients earlier than 8:30 or later than 5 if that's the only thing that they can do.
Do you ever run promotions at all?
We do run promotions. A lot of the times we do open houses with certain manufacturers or companies. And
Have anything coming up that we can tell everybody about?
let's see. We do have something coming up with one manufacturer, and I believe the dates are October 20th, 21st, 22nd.
And which is what? What's the special that you have?
The company is a company called Starkey, and they're one of the top
Oh, yeah.
manufacturers.
Of course I've heard Starkey,
Yeah,
yes.
so we're having one of their top audiologists come in and showcase some products. So we're running some promotions.
Did you write down a date for yourself?
Shut up, Renee.
I'm just saying.
If I could understand and hear the words you were saying right now, I might not
You
be
just
very
hear me
happy.
through the mic because you have double headphones on.
Is there a hearing loss problem when you tune somebody out?
That might be something you need to talk to like a therapist about or something.
Speak to Dr. Laura.
Laura, that's right. That is so cool. So give everybody, again, we want to make sure, listen, write this phone number down, because when you start thinking you might have some type of hearing loss,
Or
hearing
just get
problem,
checked out if you
don't
start.
Google it. We've got
Yes.
the best right here.
And again, you want to go to an audiologist, and you want to go to
Definitely.
a professional, because anybody could tell you that you need a hearing aid. And you want to make sure that you're getting fitted and you're getting the best hearing aid.
And you know what? A hearing aid is not the only solution for
Right.
hearing problems, and I think that's one of the biggest differences with our clinic too. We want to just see what are your individual needs, what are your problems, what can we do to help you. So hearing aids are one part, but it could be just communicating with your family and friends and with you and giving you some tips and strategies on how to actually just communicate better. A lot of people think, well, you're yelling at me from the kitchen and I expect to hear you. Well, that's not realistic. So things like that.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Is there a different treatment when it comes to children? Because typically you don't see children with hearing aids, but I know a lot of kids suffer, especially after having chronic ear infections. Sometimes
Yes.
they end up having some hearing loss.
Right.
So let's talk
hearing,
about that for a
hearing
moment.
loss relating to like an ear infection is usually something medically managed and an ENT can resolve and make better. It's more the kids who have that sensory neural kind of hearing loss where the damage is in the inner ear itself and is not going to get better. So, hearing aids are a great option for kids. The sooner, the better that we can get that on a kid, the close to normal hearing they're going to have. So, if you're a parent listening and you have a young kid who you're having concerns about their hearing or speech or language development, do not hesitate to call your doctor, because the sooner you take action and we, can determine if something
And they
is
should be
wrong.
tested, absolutely, because
Exactly.
speech is definitely the factor. I mean, if you see that your
Exactly.
child's having a hard time
Exactly.
communicating,
Yeah,
you should
so if
definitely
your kid
take
is
them.
getting speech therapy or if you have any concerns, they definitely should have a hearing test done just so they can, rule that out as a factor.
Tell us some manufacturers that you carry.
Yeah, so we work with a lot of the top if not all the top
Well, Starkey,
manufacturers.
yes.
So
I mean, that's big.
Starkey is one of them, Oticon, Phonak, Siemens, Widex, Resound.
So you carry
right,
most
these
all
are the top brands.
Yes, yeah. There's not one company that I know of that we don't work with.
Wow. So now we're bringing you someone who's so easy to get to from this area. I mean, you're right off of 95, and you're on Glades.
Yeah,
We know that area. We
You think?
yeah, we should definitely know that area. So you're easy to find, and you've got such a great reputation.
Oh, thank you.
So you don't have to go through Is there a phone book anymore? They even have
You
those?
always ask that. Most people just Google it. That's why I
Yeah.
give your website address again, so people, if they want information, I'm sure they could get information off your website as well.
Correct. Yes, and we're also on Facebook, so you can find us on Facebook, on our website or Facebook. We, will give information about any of our open houses or promotions that we're having.
And
Okay.
also, if you want to go back and watch today's show, you can either go to
NN Radio.
radio.com, and when you go on the homepage on the left-hand side, it says WNN TV. Click there, and you can actually watch today's show. And I think you're going to have it up on your website, I think.
Yes, we will.
That's
eventually.
wonderful.
'Cause there
Okay,
was
so
so
give
much
your
great
phone number.
information
Yeah, give your
today.
phone number again
Okay.
before we go off.
Yes, our phone number again is 561-807-7873.
And your address, one more time.
www.labyrinthaudiology.com. Or you
Perfect.
can find us on Facebook.
So I'm telling you, when we
This is
go-
the place to go.
This is But what I'm telling you is, our show is about bringing you the best. Okay, so you don't have to worry about who out there. Who should I go look for? Listen, you are like throwing darts when you do something like that. So here is a very reputable company, Labyrinth Audiology, and call them if you or a family member. Don't be embarrassed.
If you have any
I'm
concerns.
not embarrassed. I'm just going to kick
You're
Renee's
going.
butt when I get
And
back.
no, you're going to see Vicky. Anyway, thank you,
so
Vicky,
much
for
coming
coming
on
on
thank you
today.
for having us.
We loved
Thanks.
having you on.
Yeah.
Okay, and join us this Monday from 4 to 5 when we have one of the top criminal attorneys and a top tax relief.
Flying all the way
Yes,
in from Houston.
I'm really excited about the show Monday.
Taxation Solutions.
Yeah, he's a
if you
specialist in
have-
the country.
Absolutely. So, everybody have a great weekend. Peace and love.
We're out.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show with Steve O and Rene. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management,